All right, guys, what is going on? Match reaction: Juventus 2, Manchester City 0, and it's another defeat for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, and they are just in an absolute mess at the minute. They really are. I think when they beat Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, I think many people thought Manchester City were back. It turns out they're not back because they drew to Palace last week and now they've just lost to Juventus in the Champions League 2-0. Manchester City sit 22nd in the Champions League table. 22nd, people. Yes, you heard me right. They are 1 point above the first team out of the playoffs, which are PSG, who have 7 points. And you never guess who Man City play next. PSG at the Parc des Princes. And that's going to be an absolutely huge game. Could you imagine Manchester City not even making the playoffs? That would be crazy. Like, who would have thought that at the start of the season? Many people probably thought Manchester City would have finished first in the Champions League format this season. But they're 22nd, and they might not even make the playoffs. Listen, I do think Manchester City will make the playoffs. I do. But God, if they do make it, it's going to be by the skin of their teeth, I tell you. It's not going to be a comfortable ride for these City fans because I think there's 2 Champions League games remaining. I could be wrong about that, but I think there is. And yeah, I think the PSG game is massive. I'm not sure who they play last, but I don't really think it's a great team and they should win that game. But yeah, that PSG game, whenever that is going to be absolutely huge. But today, poor. Man City were poor again. I didn't watch them against Crystal Palace on the weekend. I'm not really sure how they played in that game, but today they were just shocking. Shocking. Again. I really don't know what's going on with them at the minute. I've heard people say, oh, it's because Rodri's not playing. No, I'm not having it. Sorry, I'm not having it. You can't be missing one player and play that bad. That just cannot happen. Your team just can't fall apart when you're missing one player. It can't happen, and I'm not having it. It's just not Rodri. Something's not right with Man City this season. Something is not right. And yes, they were always going to have a dip in form. They were always going to have a season where they were bad. And this is the season. Maybe they'll be back next season. But this is worrying. This is worrying. This is worrying. They were poor. They were poor, like, throughout the whole game. They created one big chance. Manchester City don't create one big chance. They create 4 or 5 big chances in previous years. But this season, they're really struggling. Really struggling. But, you've got to give credit to Juventus. I said at the start of the watch-along, Juve will win this game. And they did. I knew Juve were going to win this game tonight. I had a feeling, with the way City have been playing, Juve at home, I knew Juve were going to win this game, and they did. And, I think the worst thing for Man City is that Juve were not great either. Juve were as bad as Man City. Yet Juve took their chances. First half, I think was poor from both teams. First half was awful. Nothing was really created. We had the Man City big chance in the first half where Erling Haaland should score. I mean, it's a lovely through ball by Kevin De Bruyne. Haaland tries to chip the keeper. Keeper reads it, puts up a strong arm, and denies Haaland of a goal. But apart from that, the first half was terrible. That was literally the only chance in the first half. And then second half, it's like, can Man City really turn it up? The answer was no. Juventus take a 1-0 lead in the 53rd minute through Dusan Vlahovic. And this is just an absolute mess of a goal, in my opinion. It's a shocker by Man City. I mean, a cross comes in. I think the centre-back, Gatti, dribbles up the pitch with the ball. He plays it out wide to the right winger. He gets in the cross. Gatti, 3 in the box. A centre-back, 3 in the box. Not even from a corner. From a cross, from open play. 3 in the box. Managed to has a scissor volley straight at Ederson. Ederson makes the save. City try and pass it out from the back. Gvardiol, poor pass to Walker. Yildiz intercepts him. We're now on the other side of the pitch, on the left wing. Yildiz whips it in. Wonderful cross. Vlahovic with the header. And, well, Ederson I don't know what Ederson's doing from this Vlahovic header. It's straight at him. It kind of just hits him. Ederson doesn't really react. And the ball goes over the line. Goal line technology confirms it's a goal. Juve take a 1-0 lead. And then Man City losing again. They're losing again. And yes, Man City played better. They started to kick into gear when they went 1-0 behind. But they still didn't create anything. They still didn't create any chances. And it was always going to be a case of, have Juve got enough on the counter-attack? And Thiago Motta made 2 substitutions. He brought on Weston McKennie and Timothy Weah. And I said at the time that that's going to be a crucial substitution because it's going to give Juve legs in the midfield to counter-attack. And that's exactly what they did. It was both of the substitutes combining in the 75th minute. McKennie breaks through into the midfield. He gets it out wide to Weah. He tries to cross it in. It's initially blocked by Rico Lewis. Comes back to Weah. Whips it in first time. Weston McKennie again unmarked. It's a bit like the Gatti chance from the first goal. Unmarked in the box. Same technique as Gatti. But this time it finds the back of the net. And it's 2-0 to Juventus. And at that point, it was game, set and match to Juve. Huge win for Juventus. Both of these teams going into the game were on 8 points. Juve obviously now on 11 points. I don't know where they are in the Champions League format. I should have probably checked, but I don't know. And Man City is still on 8 points. And it's another defeat for Pep Guardiola. And yeah, City in the mud. They've got the Manchester derby on Sunday. I can guarantee you Manchester City beat United 4-0. Genuinely, it wouldn't surprise me if Man City show up for the derby and absolutely batter Man United. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. I actually expect it to happen. But City, another defeat. It's kind of becoming a common thing now, isn't it? Manchester City L's. I never thought I would say that in recent years, but it's becoming a common theme. Manchester City losing games. Unbelievable. 22nd in the Champions League group. They're in trouble. I expect them to still, make the playoffs, but even if they do make the playoffs, they might not win and get knocked out of the Champions League. But they're in a mess at the minute, Man City. That PSG game is going to be absolutely massive. But tonight, full credit to Juventus. Full credit to Juve. Took their chances. And, yeah. I mean, I think a 0-0 draw was probably a fair result, to be honest, because we didn't really get much. But Juve took their chances, won 2-0, and Pep suffers another defeat. Shocking. But, guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts on the match. And let me know, do you think Manchester City will make it out of the Champions League group phase? Because I think they will, but it'll only be just. But guys, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you later.